Hello, this is Laurie, Girl on the Ridge. I have the third book in my Homespun journals. This is Miss Polly. This is for this has been spoken for. This is the pouch that I made out of a vintage quilt that I had. I'm going to jump right into it so we don't run over. Let me sit down. Miss Polly. This is Mrs. Polly's letter, same as the other ones. This is the letter inviting people to populate the town of Timbertown. And it has all the qualifications. So that letter comes with it. Along with, this is Miss Polly, and this is the key to a room that she was promised. And her stage ticket, and then the stagecoach that came to pick them up. These are so fun. Now, Miss Polly, like Janie and Sunday, have a secret. So, she grew up with her brother and her grandma. Unfortunately, her brother had passed away from scarlet fever, but she holds him very dear to her heart. This is a little booklet. And this is the material she's always loved to sew. So her grandmother taught her how to sew, and these are all little snippets from her grandma. Again, this is in my mind, made up. So she holds this dear to her heart as her grandma and her brother. So we have that. So the journal. Now, Miss Polly came to town because her family was pretty much gone. But unfortunately, prior to that, something bad happened to her. And we will discover that later on in the book. On the cover is this really pretty vintage material I got, so I did not cover it up, but I made 2 tags that are pinned, so you can use either or none or both. Just leave it as is. But it was just so pretty. It just reminded me of the homespun prairie lands. So this is just a I'm in frame here. And we're straight. Okay. This is an envelope. This is a Tattered Dream envelope that Miss Polly would put her little memories in. So she kept this book dear to her heart. So Miss Polly, as I said, she was a seamstress. So she was going to apply for a dressmaker. And she had all these little pieces of material. And she had made friends immediately with Sunday and Polly. I'm sorry, Janie and Sunday. There's a tag in there. So the 3 of them are like the 3 musketeers. So when TC yelled for Polly to come in for an interview, the poor thing got so scared because he was so crude, she just passed out. While Janie and Sunday jumped all over him, especially Sunday. You big bloke, why did you scare her? And there's just a little booklet. So poor TC, he didn't know what to do. He didn't do anything. So he just kind of, bring her into the makeshift medical office. And here's one of your snippets with all Raggedy, inspired by Nick the Booksmith. So when they got poor Miss Polly on the table, they shushed the guys out. Now, Cole had his eye on Miss Polly, and he was ready to smash TC in the mouth for scaring her, because he was protective, and he just when they first met, their eyes just kind of, it was it. So when they finally discovered that poor Miss Polly had a corset that was just way too tight on her, and then the secret came out that she was with child. And she wasn't married, so she was she woke up crying, and that they were going to send her back. And Cole had seen this, and he thought, TC actually shook her up that bad. But Sunday whispered to him, what was going on. So when they calmed her down, they told her that they could put, she could be a seamstress. We'll set her up in the shop, and that she could make all these beautiful dresses. And she had trims. She brought a lot from her grandma. And there's another little, there's a little Raggedy. And little flowers she loved. Well, as the townspeople, sometimes they could be crude. They would not support her. They would not go to her dress shop. It wasn't, what kind of woman was she? And so they just weren't going to do it. And there's just some notes. She was getting a little depressed, and Sunday and Miss Janie were trying to cheer her up. And every time prior to this, Cole told TC, anything that Miss Polly wants, put it on his bill, because Sunday had the mercantile up and running. So she got all this beautiful stuff, but the townspeople still would not support her. So Miss Janie and Miss Sunday went there. Sunday reluctantly, because she was not going to put on a corset, but the girls talked her into it, and she was just beside herself. She was huffing and puffing, and Colin was in the window looking, and he just loved his Sunday, and then they started squirting her with perfume, and they were just having a good old-fashioned girls' time. And the girls looked beautiful. Sunday was just, couldn't wait to get out of it, and Colin, he just smirked. Colin. He just loved her. So, and Cole was the same with Miss Polly. And of course, TC and Janie were already married. So the girls had a good old time. And once the townspeople started seeing all these beautiful dresses, yes, they started coming forward, finally. So Polly and Cole were getting closer and closer, and he would always send her flowers. And these were pretty memories of Polly's grandma would always sew to her, telling her a story before she fell asleep. And then there's another raggedy, but I decided to sew it in, and there's a tag. And just a lot of writing spots, because she had to always take measurements and this and that. So she was getting a little confused because she was getting overwhelmed. She did like birds and horses. So Miss Janie, as sweetheart as she is, we'll put this aside for a second, made her this little sewing book where she could keep tracks. In my mind again, there's some needles that's already made, and there's just some things that she could put measurements on, and she put all these little trims and materials that the women could look at, and buttons, and so they could pick out what kind of dress they wanted. So it's made it a lot easier on Miss Polly. So she felt so much better after having some samples and everything in one place. It was so fun to make. And then there's just more lace and trim. So that's what Miss Janie made her. So back to the book. We're getting ready to have a party. We are going to have a big ball. And Colin brought her more flowers. She was still a little shy because, she's carrying another man's child, and she was just wasn't sure how he was going to handle it, but he was fine with it. And the invitation went out for the ball, and then, the rush of all the ladies coming to get new dresses. So that was one of my seals. Lots of material in here. And trim. And there's a little thing in there. So the ball was being planned. And that's Miss Polly. Every time she'd go to sleep, she'd just be dreaming. And this was TLC Creates. Dreaming of sewing and lists and dress forms and orders. And her dress was going to be this beautiful golden dress. So they're at the party. And there's some more tags. And Mr. Colin has a surprise for Polly. And there's just more flowers. So he gives her just more writing. And we'll get back to that. We'll do this. The party has, and this is, I think, Mrs. Coggs, all these beautiful entrees. Everybody just showed their best wares and their cooking and all these goodies, and the kids came. And this is all just filled with flowers, all different ephemera and turkey and all this fun stuff. So Colin, and this was Doc from the first birth, Dr. Nathan Foote, who had passed away, who had raised Cole. So they had a silent moment for him. So that was that. And that was that. But Cole had a surprise for Miss Polly. So he gave her this beautiful envelope, and he told her to go to the store. And she was so excited for a surprise, and she was so excited that she was going to the store, and she tried to get the girls to go, but they were in on it because they helped them. And so she opened the seamstress shop, and here was this beautiful handmade, and this is so cute. And I will try to link this to who made this, because I can't remember. This beautiful handmade dressing screen. Is that not adorable? And on the back I just left it so you could with a black Sharpie. And I will try to link this, if not tonight in the morning, because I got to find out who did it. So she was all excited, and he got down on his knees and proposed to him. And then Colin said, "What the hell?" And he proposed Sunday because the preacher was there for the party, and they only come in once in a while. So they got married. Everybody got married at the ball, and they all lived happily ever after in this crazy, crazy world. So that's the book. This is the extra. This is the journal, the brother, and the letter, and Miss Polly. And then, of course, the bag. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed telling it, because it puts me in a whole better place and a whole better world. So we'll see you soon. I got 2 more books I want to show you that will be in my Etsy, and I'll be back. Bye.